Look up at the night sky and pick any star you can see. Statistically, it has a planet. Most of those worlds sit there quietly, unremarkable, unwatched. But right now, hidden among them, 5 planets are not sitting quietly at all. They are being torn apart, swallowed or read apart atom by telescopes finely precise enough to catch it happening. Not old textbook extremes, not a decade-old list recycled again. 5 deaths in progress, unfolding while you watch. There is a planet 141 light-years from Earth that is losing an entire Mount Everest of rock every time it completes an orbit. BD plus 0.54868 AB is roughly the mass of Mercury, but it circles its star 20 times closer than Mercury circles the Sun, finishing a full year in just 30.5 hours. At that distance, heat doesn't scorch a surface, it boils it. Rock vaporizes directly into gas and streams away in 2 dust tails at once, one trailing behind the planet, one leading in front of it, a shape astronomers had never confirmed before. Stitched together, those tails stretch 9 million kilometers, long enough to wrap around more than half the planet's own orbit. When that debris crosses the star, it blocks over 1% of its light for 15 hours straight, the longest, densest transit ever recorded from a dying world. MIT astronomer Mark Hahn, who found it using NASA's TESS spacecraft, called the rate of loss cataclysmic, and said his team is lucky to be watching a planet's final hours at all. Most disintegrating worlds found before this one orbited stars too faint to study in any real detail. This one is different. Its star is bright enough that the James Webb Space Telescope can now read the chemistry of the debris directly, atom by atom, as it leaves the planet behind. If you could stand beside BD plus 0.54868 AB and watch it complete a single orbit, you would watch it shed an entire mountain range's worth of itself into space every 30.5 hours, without pause, without recovery. 1 to 2 million years, that is what's left of it. Not a warning, a countdown, already running, and for the first time, a telescope precise enough to read the chemistry of a planet as it disappears. Not every dying planet gets to disappear slowly. TOI 2337b will not. It is a gas giant locked around a star that is itself dying, swelling outward into a subgiant on its way to becoming a red giant. And as that star grows, it is reaching out and pulling the planet in with it. Lead researcher Samuel Grumblatt's team found something no one had seen before. The shortest remaining lifespan of any confirmed exoplanet ever measured. Less than 1 million years until it is consumed entirely, sooner than any other doomed world on record. 2 sibling planets in other systems are dying the same way. TOI 2337b is simply losing that race fastest. A world that survived the birth of its star, survived billions of years of quiet orbit, only to be swallowed in the last geological instant before the end. Compare that to our own Sun, which still has roughly 5 billion years before it even begins to swell into a subgiant of its own. TOI 2337b's star got there first, and its planet is paying for the timing. There will be no explosion, no signal reaching Earth, just a planet, and then, quietly, no planet at all, and a star very slightly heavier than it was before, carrying the last of its world inside it. TOI 2431b doesn't have a million years, it barely has 31. This rocky world completes 4 full orbits of its star in a single Earth day, a year lasting about 6 hours, tidally locked, one face forever toward the star, surface temperatures above 2000 degrees Celsius. Earth passed through a brief molten phase billions of years ago, before it cooled into the planet that eventually supported us. TOI 2431b never gets that chance. Astronomers calculated the shortest tidal disruption timescale ever recorded for a confirmed exoplanet, roughly 31 million years until the star's gravity pulls it apart completely. Most doomed exoplanets carry destruction dates measured in billions of years. This one has been handed a deadline that is, on a cosmic clock next week. With a mass over 6 times Earth's packed into a planet only 1.5 times Earth's width, TOI 2431b is dense enough that researchers say its history alone hints at violence, a world that may have already survived one collision before this slower second death began. And because its star burns bright enough for detailed study, JWST is already watching the countdown run. Sometimes a dying planet doesn't just disappear, it hands over its own body for study. K222b was the first disintegrating exoplanet ever confirmed, orbiting so close to its star that a year lasts 9 hours, too small to ever be photographed, visible only through the clouds of dust it periodically sheds, dust that turned out to be cooled magma boiled straight off its interior. For a decade, the assumption was simple: a planet stripped this bare should be little more than an exposed iron core. Then the James Webb Space Telescope read the chemistry of that dust directly, and the result didn't match the prediction at all. Instead of bare iron, the dust carried signatures of vaporized ice, material nobody expected to survive this close to a star. There is still meat left on the bones, one astronomer on the team put it. If K222b's dust really is carrying frozen material from its depths, that changes what the planet even started out as. Not a bare rocky core to begin with, but something that once held ice this close to a star at all, an idea nobody had seriously entertained before this measurement. A planet everyone assumed had already been picked clean is still spilling secrets about what it used to be, one dust cloud at a time. The newest data of all belongs to WASP 121b, and it arrived days ago, not decades. This ultra-hot gas giant is tidally locked, one face forever toward its star. And this month, the James Webb Space Telescope produced the first detailed 3-dimensional map of that divide. What it found was not a gentle line between hot and cold. It found 2 different planets fused at the seam. A dayside battered by wind, so violent it tears water molecules apart, atom from atom. A night side just cool enough to let them reform, before the planet's own rotation drags that same gas back into the furnace and destroys it again. Every molecule of water on WASP 121b is trapped in that loop, forever, with no season where it stops. Stand on the boundary between WASP 121b's 2 faces, if anything could survive standing there at all, and you would be caught in a permanent hurricane of superheated gas, one side of the sky glowing with atoms that no longer remember being water, the other side just barely cool enough to put them back together for a few hours before the cycle drags them back around again. Researchers say the finding exposes something missing from every current model of an alien atmosphere, not an old postcard, a storm caught mid-tier this month, still happening right now.